Charley is arguably one of the most interesting and secretive characters that's in Dexter Resurrection. At first, it just started off feeling like her special ops background was what dominated her personality with the cold, emotionless approach that she had towards people, and it felt like that was why she was employed by Prater, to make sure that nobody cottoned onto the fact that he was actually infatuated with serial killers and was socializing with them and funding them in order to do so. So that cold, ruthless, get things done approach is what he needed. However, as the episodes have gone on, the mask that she's been wearing has started to slip slightly, and we've been finding out more information about the glacial and quiet set of eyes that are always watching in the corner. So with that, I thought I'd do a little digging into Charley and explain all that there is to know about her, whilst also giving my theories and predictions on how I think her story could unfold in the final few episodes. Here is Dexter Resurrection, Charley Explained. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. Why is Charley working with Prater? Well, first off, before diving into Charley's background, I wanted to dive into a theory that's been going round in my head, and it's the very thing that I question the most about Charley. If she doesn't like Prater, the way that he treats her, and also the company that he associates with, because she's shown a strong disliking to the trophies that he has and the killers that dine at his table, then why does she do it? Well, I think there could be a couple of different reasons for this. One's financial and the other is to do with her mother. The first is that this is just a job to her, and with her special ops background where she would have been sent on missions where she'd have to have followed orders, she could just be disassociating the emotions that she feels in all of this and just doing the job to ensure that she gets paid. As by working as the right-hand person for somebody like Prater, a billionaire, with the risks that he's up against due to his polished public image, the financial rewards are probably going to be large and beneficial. However, I think there's probably a deeper reason for why she's working with Prater, and that could be the care that her mother is getting. So this could be why she's going along with it, because she doesn't want her mother to be in pain as she draws to the end of her life. After initially being introduced to Charley, later on down the line in episode 5, we saw her visiting her mother, Mildred, who was being taken care of because she was suffering with a brain tumor that was rapidly progressing and was eventually going to kill her. This was the only time that we saw Charley go from being a cold individual to somebody that had a smile, showed ounces of care, and I'd also say regressed back into the state of infancy, sitting with her mother and feeling like she wanted to be taken care of. I think, as well as the good pay that Charley gets off of Prater for looking out for him, the care that her mother is receiving could well be getting paid for by him too, or at least she's able to afford it because of him. I feel like this is the case because Mildred wasn't just in a regular hospital room seeing out her final days. This was one that was clearly making her as comfortable as she could be. She had full care with a much higher budget. So the fear of her mother being removed from there and her not being as comfortable as what she has been is probably one of Charley's biggest fears. From what we've seen, Charley doesn't have a partner or a family with anybody, so her mother is probably the person that she loves most in the world. So when you strip it down to the core of why Charley is working with Prater, I think it's because she's doing it for her mother. Charley's mask. One of the biggest things that we've noticed recently about Charley is the fact that she's wearing a mask. Like Dexter explained when he was giving his speech about killing and how it never really felt like he was his true self because he's only that person when he's in the moment of killing. And then when he stops and when he's around the people that he cares about and those in society, he's wearing a mask. The mask of somebody that isn't killing. Charley is also like that, but in a completely different way. When Dexter gave his speech about wearing a mask, it cut to Charley looking on in a way where it seemed like she was questioning what he was saying, and it almost seemed like it was resonating with her, showing how it connected to what she was feeling inside of her own mind. The mask that she puts on is when she's with her mother, and this is because Mildred has no idea about the life that she leads in working with Prater. Nor is it something that she wants to introduce her to. Being surrounded by serial killers and helping and watching them bask in their kills whilst sharing their stories. I don't think any parent would want that. Mildred thinks that Charley is a third-grade teacher in an elementary school because that's what Charley's made her believe. She's even made up names of students and moments that she was proud of as a teacher to make the story even more believable. This is another thing that ties into Charley being ashamed of what she does, and it shows that she has a moral code that she's disregarding because it means that her mother gets better treatment and she ultimately gets rewarded in a financial way. As well as the mask that she has with her mother in not telling her what she truly does, she also has a mask when it comes to being around Prater, because that's almost a mask that she puts on because she doesn't want to be there and she disagrees with what he does. So realistically, she's living a life that she truly doesn't want to lead whilst grieving her mother before she's already passed away. I think the stress in all of this and not really being her true self on any side of her life is going to lead her to reach breaking point, and it'll shake the entire show on its head. What will happen to Charley? One thing that I've noticed with Charley and Prater over the past few episodes is that it seems like Charley is growing increasingly frustrated with Prater, and they're starting to have some disagreements with one another in how they should be approaching things. Prater has said things to her like, "I hired you to make things go away. Was I mistaken?" And he also said to her, "Do what I effing tell you to do." So as Prater has become more and more emotionally invested in the killers that are in front of him and infatuated with them, allowing his mind to take a backseat, Charley has felt the brunt of that. We've even seen in the trailer for the next episode, Charley clenches her fist when it seems like Prater again speaks to her in a disrespectful way. I think this is leading to Charley potentially turning on Prater, and it could end up bringing about his downfall. Charley seems to share a similar mindset to what Dexter does, where she hates being around serial killers, and the only people that we've actually seen her kill or have had a hand in killing have been serial killers. Seeing the soft side with her mother is almost used as a way of showing us that she's normal per se and has empathy, sympathy, and the ability to care for others. Something that Detective Wallace said killers don't have the capacity to do when she was speaking about the New York Ripper. So even though she kills, she doesn't share the same mindset as what those sick individuals do. With her frustrations growing even stronger with Prater, she might let her mask slide slightly, and if he threatens her, or maybe even threatens the care of his mother, the person that she loves most in the world, this could lead her to go into kill mode herself and potentially take out Prater. She doesn't care for him outside of a professional sense, and we've seen her give him looks of utter disgust when he's not been looking. So if she or her mother was threatened in any way whatsoever, I think her natural reaction would be to retaliate. We saw it with the Canton Clubber in the early episodes of the season. All that happened was he touched her on the shoulder, she deemed it as a threat, and she clubbed him to death with his own weapon. So that rapid instinctual response is there, most likely from the fight or flight quick decision making that she needed to make before working with Prater when in the special ops. After all, Charley is the person that does all of the dirty work for Prater. From what we've seen, he's never really had a hand in any of the killings that have taken place. So if push came to shove, Charley could end up turning on him. Or another direction that I think we could see this going in is that Charley's mother could end up dying, and it will make Charley change sides because if her mother is the sole reason as to why she's been doing this job, making her as comfortable as possible while she's alive, if she's no longer alive, then Charley won't be going against her moral code for the sake of it. So she might try to leave, but we've seen what happens to the people that are out of reach from Prater. They end up dead. So she'll know firsthand that if she wants to leave, she'll have to take out Prater because her death could be imminent. Taking out Prater could be in the murdering sense, or she does have a ton of dirt on him. So she might ruin the image of Leon Prater and have him arrested for his involvement with all of those serial killers, changing the public's perception of him. I don't feel like the show would have had us see him being interviewed, where all that was being spoken about was how perfect he was for us to not witness his downfall. So Charley could end up being behind that. Now, I'll close off this video by reiterating what I said at the beginning. Charley is genuinely one of the most interesting characters in the show because of her moral complex. She's stuck between a rock and a hard place in going against what she believes in for the person that she cares about most, tapping into aggression and murder for love and care. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of her and what will eventually happen to her as the season reaches its end. So, there you have it, Dexter Resurrection, Charley Explained. If you want to see more videos on Dexter Resurrection being broken down, then check the videos below. I've also explained every serial killer in the show, so be sure to give that a watch if you want to know more information on them. Which side do you think Charley will be on at the end? Dexter or Leon Prater's? Share your thoughts in the comments. As always, thanks for tuning into the video and I'll see you in the next one.